Welcome to Apotheosis Mod Spotlight. So, an enchantment table normally gives you 2 enchantment levels per thing. So, for instance, if we put this in here, I've got 9 bookshelves around. We're going to get an enchantment level max of level 18. If you make this thing there, the Hell Shelf, which is made with Blaze Rod, Bookshelf, and a Potion of Regeneration, the Hell Shelf will double that power. So we had 18 there. Now we've got 36. And the thing about this mod is that it actually takes away limits on enchantment and Anvil usage. So if you enchanted this Hell Shelf, you can do so with this book called Hell Infusion, which is added by the mod. You can get even higher. It does look the same, but it's not. And then you can see we can go up to 72. And this will go up to, I believe, the configurable limit it defaults to a level 150. Take a look at what's going on here as well with the Anvil. Got a couple of good pickaxes that we've enchanted. You can see normally this would be an enchantment cost of 50. So you can see we've got an efficiency 7 and unbreaking 8. We have an efficiency 7, unbreaking 8, fortune 6. So it will add up the two. So basically the efficiencies will level up as normal to level 8. And the unbreakings will level up to level 9. And then the fortune 6 will be appended on that. Alright, so what you can also do is, say we've got Anvil. You can see we can put a load of stuff on there as well. Unbreaking 13, splitting 15. We've got Shears, let's have a look at that. Efficiency, nothing new on that one. We'll go through all the new ones, obviously. Anvil, and we're also going to do the hoe as well. Life Mending 3, Nature's Blessing 11. Alright, we've got some cool enchantments there. But we don't want to go into that quite yet, because I want to talk about a couple of things earlier on. This first thing is, if we've got like an enchantment, so we've got that protection 4 here, get a cobweb in there, it will take it away. Next one is, say we've got something like a curse on one of these things, right? So, okay, so you can see we've got on this iron sword, we've got the curse of vanishing. We put this prismatic cobweb made with some prismarine shards in there. Take it away. Alright, the other thing I wanted to talk about is this. If you get books and blaze rods, you can do like various different things with it, right? So we look at what we can do with the blaze rods. You can see you can make these different books, these tomes. It says accepts helmet, accepts chest plate, leg plate, and they're all just made with books and blaze rods. So for instance, we could put some in there. Go like that, and it's sort of pretty easy to understand what's going on there. So you can see we've got a lot of weapon enchantments there. This is a good way as well to see what all the different enchantment types are. Alright, we're going to talk about the enchantment books straight away actually. So what you can do is you put a book here, and you see this has got the splitting enchantment we just saw a minute ago. You can see that's actually split them all up. So that's what the splitting enchantment does. It actually, once you drop the anvil on the book, it will split it all up. Alright, so I've got this sword here. We've got sharpness 15, capturing 13, mountain strike 15. So capturing 13 will increase the chance of getting a spawn egg when you kill a mob by 0.4%. So if that's going to be level 13, it will be 5.2%. And mounted strike increases the amount of damage you're going to do while you're on a horse. So, for instance, we've got this guy here. So normally with this the sharpness level, we've got sharpness 15. We're going to do about 7 hearts of damage with this sword. Go on the horse now. What? Is that right? Wow. Okay then. Okay, so for the next one we're going to look at a hoe. We've got this hoe with Life Mending 3, Nature's Blessing 11. So Life Mending is what is known as a corrupted enchantment, which offers significantly stronger effects than other enchantments. So there's 3 types of enchantment, I believe. We've got Masterwork, Twisted, and Corrupted. Corrupted is more powerful, but will sort of consume the health of the wielder. Twisted will be a bit stronger, but not as strong as Corrupted. but it won't have any negative connotations, whereas Masterwork is only for higher levels. So you can see we've got this other one called Knowledge of the Ages, which got Masterwork, and it's in the line below in a different colour. So Life Mending will consume the life of the user to repair gear when held or equipped, and Nature's Blessing hose can be used as bone meal for a durability cost. So you can see what I'm thinking here. You could probably just use this as infinite bone meal, and it will just so essentially, actually, will it work? Yeah, it will consume the life to repair, and then you'll always be able to use it as bone meal. So, for instance, let's just do it. Let's just do it without anything, right? Just because this should give a good idea. So you can see it already works like that. Interestingly, you can't actually use it as a normal hoe at all, though. Oh no, you can if you shift. It's pretty fast though. But you can see it's basically never going to take any damage. And because of, I suppose because it's such a high level, you're not even ever going to notice. Yeah. So that is just an infinite hoe which has got bone meal built into it. So Knowledge of the Ages, enchantment, that will drop more experience. So you can imagine if you had it in a mob farm, but you didn't care about the mob loot and you just wanted the XP, you could put it in your automated clicker and it would drop more experience, but no mob drops. That's what that one does. Let's go back to this section, right? And we want to look at some of these other books that we can get, because it might be worth just seeing what's in it. So if we look at the helmet enchantments, we can just get a few and then just sort of get a sort of look about what we might get. So you can see we've got Rebounding, Occult Aversion. We'll try like a couple of each type. That way we'll have like a good way of... okay, I guess we'll do 3 just to make sure we get them all. But that may be the only 2 on it. Yeah, it looks like Life Mending comes on a lot of it. So Rebounding and Occult Aversion are the ones that we've got here. So let's look at that. Rebounding, enemies who attack you in melee range will be flung. And Occult Aversion is a twisted enchantment. Magic damage is reduced and magic damage dealt is reduced. Okay, so that's for the helmet. Let's try the other type of enchantment. Let's see what we've got here. So we already looked at, let's do chestplate enchantments, see if there's any new ones there. I assume there must be, right? Otherwise it wouldn't be categorized like this. Icy Thorns also shares Occult Aversion. I guess that's for all types of armor. Icy Thorns, attackers will be slowed, works on range attacks as well. So if you get shot with an arrow and you've got Icy Thorns, the opponent will be slowed. Let's try another one on the chestplate. See what we got. And it doesn't look like there's much difference. Mainly Icy Thorns and Rebounding. For those, I guess we'll try one more, just in case. But no. Okay, next up, we have got what exactly? There's chestplate. Next up, the leg plate enchantments. I assume that it looks like there's maybe one unique one for each. Maybe not that. It could just be they're all the same for the... I don't know why they'd be categorized like that. Just try one more. Berserkers Fury 4. Okay, so this is a corrupted enchantment. So it's obviously a much rarer one to get. And you can see the level is actually quite low. So Berserkers Fury 4 is probably... It looks to be one of the better ones. Again, like I mentioned, Life Mending is corrupted. There's only actually 2 corrupted. When I'm looking through the list, there's 2 corrupted, which are Berserkers Fury and Life Mending. So it's a very good one. But when damaged, the user will become enraged, gaining speed, strength, and resistance. So pretty good that you're going to have speed, strength, and resistance when you've got this enchantment. So that's pretty good. I imagine it's just like a question of luck, by the way. I don't know if there's any differences in that. So we've done the leg plate. Boot enchantments is next. So you can imagine fairly similar stuff. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything particularly different in these enchantments. And again, we're getting up to feather falling 23, 24 for projectile protection. You can see that some of these enchantments, if you look at the numbers, they're much... like Unbreaking only goes up to 13 here. So that's not increasing in number as much as something like projectile protection or feather falling. Rebounding is quite high. You can see some of these, but especially the corrupted enchantments are much lower level, even at level 140. Okay, let's move on and see what other enchantments we can get. So we looked at weapon enchantments already. So let's look at mining enchantments now. So mining enchantments, okay. So we've got Miner's Fervour. Fortune 13 would be nice as well. Let's do a few of these. We've sort of established most of them at this point. Looks like it's mainly Miner's Fervour. Mining speed is adjusted based on distance above or below sea level. It doesn't look like the mining ones are particularly good, to be honest. Apart from obviously having a lot more fortune, that is quite handy. I mean, I guess we could try it on a pickaxe, right? Just see how it looks. Maybe get a load of obsidian out. So we've got, say, Miner's Fervour at 11. Get a selection of maybe some diamonds, maybe a bit of obsidian, just to see see that in use. So here's our Miner's Fervour 11. I don't think we're going to see much based on sea level, to be honest. We'll just do some diamonds just for fun. Let's go to survival. So it's breaking about the same. It's breaking like a block of stone, basically. Interesting. Immediately got into a glitch with that. It's not great. That doesn't happen very often. So maybe we'll leave it for the mining. I imagine that using a mining enchantment with this mod is probably not a good idea. Because the problem with a lot of mods is that if they try to do something with the mining, you're doing it so often, and they're constantly applying an effect. That cannot be good. But I guess you could say the same about attacking as well. Okay, so do we have something on the shield? Did I miss this one completely? I did. So the shield can also be enchanted, which I think I forgot to mention. I did realise there was some. Shield Bash 13, Reflective Defences 9. So Shield Bash, attacking with a shield will do significantly more damage. Reflective Defences, blocking attack with a shield has a chance to damage the attacker. That's going to be quite a difficult one to show. It doesn't actually even... Let's get an attacker then, I guess. Let's see how you attack with the shield there. Blocking and attack with the shield. I guess so. Let's have a look. See what we can do with nothing but the shield. I imagine we can just kill these guys. Yeah, that crashes the game, trying to use the shield enchantment, so I wouldn't do that. In fact, a lot of these enchantments will probably crash the game, especially ones involving fighting of any kind or damage. I did. To be fair, though, I did manage to kill a wither in one shot with the from a horse. So that one may be better. I don't know if I showed this, by the way, that the sugarcane and cactus growth rates have changed. So while it's cool, like, I think one of the things to really notice about this mod is that a lot of these, I've basically gone through, I think now, all of the ones which actually get added. There's one called Stable Footing, which negates the mining speed penalty from not standing on the ground. Most of what I think I've covered everything apart from that, though. But yeah, I would say it's. I guess your mileage may vary on this, but to get a crash just by using the shield enchantment is really, really bad sign. Because that should just work well. And it just makes me just wondering, like, you know, like I could get away with this, but and also 4,000 damage. That is a bit of an odd number, isn't it? That's a bit high, you would think. So anyway, there is like a whole other part to this mod, though. One of the things I didn't actually mention was this, the Altar of the Sea. So that's made like that. And you can basically turn stuff into an enchanted book. So let's have a look how that works. There we go. Okay. So what you do is you put your items. So let's put some of these swords that I've got here on these little spots over here. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it draws enchantment from you. And you get a book, which is a combination. It's not a combination, actually, it's completely different. The stronger the enchantments of the item, the stronger the book. The necessary experience needed will increase with the strength of the final book. It's always equal to half the levels will be needed to create the final book. Okay. So it gets you just a random book that's better, because it draws experience from the books and also the players standing nearby. I mean, that's interesting. But yeah, there's also... Okay, so there are some things which are added by this mod as well. And that is, we've got some potions. So if we look at resistance, let's look at the recipe for that. Not fire resistance, but resistance. So that requires a shulker shell. We've also got absorption. So these obviously are not craftable normally. You can see that's a golden apple. We also have the haste potion. So things like this are pretty useful. But you can sometimes get these sort of things in utility mods as well. Mushroom stew for that. Mining fatigue. Fermented spider eye into a haste, which obviously is also added there. So there's just an extra step on that. The wither potion. Yeah. There's that. And the luck potion. Which is, that's obviously, it's already in the game. There's funny things about the luck potion. It keeps on getting removed and take or whatever. But that is a vanilla thing. Whereas Lucky Rabbit's Foot. A rare find. Okay, so that must be another mob drop that gets added. We also have a few more potions, which are the Sundering Potion. Again, it's building... I remember when I did extra alchemy, it looked a bit like this as well. Fermented spider eye. It's added to resistance. And that increases the damage taken. It's the opposite of resistance by 20% per level. And finally, we have Ancient Knowledge. Bottle of Enchanting, which has got... That's a nice recipe, actually. I always dislike... I wonder if it has the arrow recipe as well. I've always wanted this because you can do it now in 1.14, get these arrows. But no, there's still nothing here for lingering potions that don't require Dragon's Breath. This would be a major step. But it's nice to be able to get a bottle of enchanting without using a Dragon's Breath. That at least is a forward step. You only get 1 for a gold block though, whereas you get 16 for 1 gold nugget. Yeah. I guess it's mainly for this. But yeah, anyway, that multiplies experience from kills by 10 times per level. So if you take this and you kill a load of mobs, you can get a huge amount of levels. So that's a way to really rapidly get levels if you have a load of mobs in a small space. 10 times the level, even like an animal farm, that would be pretty useful. And there are useful things. To be honest, I was a little bit critical with the what happened with the shield just then. But a lot of this will work. There won't be that many problems. It's just I know what it's like when you're only testing something out. You shouldn't be seeing any problems really, because I'm not really doing anything particularly difficult. Now, there are various other things as well added to this mod. There are various other things added to this mod, and they mainly revolve around spawners. We also have these arrows as well, which are just added, as you might imagine. So a monster spawner. What can we use first? Spawn egg. Let's try chicken. Sometimes this doesn't work. Yeah, I feel like in vanilla this doesn't really work like you would want. So essentially there's a load of modifiers you can add to it. If I put in sugar, for instance, it says decreases minimum spawn delay by 5 ticks. So let's put in a load and we should be getting it much, much quicker. So that's the max, it looks like. It definitely is happening quicker, right? Yeah, we only got... fermented spider eye will increase the spawn count. Maybe don't want to go too overboard on that one. No, let's just go for it. Because like I say, I'm sure it's not... It may be stacks at a time you need to put in all this stuff. Ghast tier increases max nearby entities by 2. I think a lot of this is probably going into the depths of this. Into the depths of what actually happens during spawning. Okay, there we go. That was the one that does it. I thought maybe. I imagine this. That's interesting. So there must be a limit to the way they limit the spawning is to check for entities that are nearby when that entity is spawned. We have. I'll just say the others as well. Prismarine Crystals increases the player activation range by 2 blocks in every direction. Blaze Rod will increase the spawn range by 1. Dragon Egg disables checking conditions when spawning entities. Oh, the Dragon Egg is cool then, so he doesn't. So that's always a chunk loading thing, isn't it? So if conditions are not checked, the entities will be spawned. Whatever. Oh no, actually. And then it says Nether Star removes the need for a nearby player. Okay, so maybe that's the one you need. Chorus Fruit disables the spawn cap, enabling an infinite number of monsters. Redstone Comparator enables redstone control of the spawner, requires a signal to run, and then Spawn Egg will change the entity. You can move your spawners with Silk Touch and change the conditions. There's also, I believe, some sort of world generation as well, and some sort of module boss monsters and rogue spawners. Basically, there's just some custom mobs that are a bit more powerful than normal.